So this morning I'm headed to the coast, the Oregon coast here, because where I live is kind of a halfway point, really. It's halfway in between the coast, and then I can also go the other direction towards Corvallis if I want to. But today I'm headed to the coast. Great thing about my job is I can take it anywhere, so I can go one direction or another, and I'm not kind of limited by an office, which is great. So I'm headed to the coast today. There are some things I need to get. I need to get some Velcro for Rusty's fly mask. Usually when I'm on the coast, I also look for boots. There's a store there actually. It's a kind of a corral store, and they've got some secondhand or consignment horse equipment. So they've got some halters, some lead ropes there. I'm gonna look and see if maybe they have another fly mask. I may get him a new one if they have one for a reasonable price. I'm still gonna try and salvage the old one just because I hate throwing things out. And so yeah, so that's kind of the task today. It'll also be nice to be on the coast. I love taking a visit, and today we have a beautiful fall day. I don't know if you can see out the window there. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But it's a beautiful fall day here. We've got some fog, but I know that it's going to burn off and give way to some sunshine here later in the day. So it's a great coastal day, great day to go and get some of my in-town chores done. Because like I said, I don't live anywhere per se near town. I live kind of, as you have seen, out in the boonies, as it were, or out in the country. So going into town is a little bit of a task, and you've got to plan things out a little bit better as far as food, supplies, and just general chores or things that need to be done in town. So these flowers right here, I got, uh, someone gave them to me, and it looks like I'm going to get a couple blooms out of them. I kept them in water the first time they they were flowers, and so I put them in water, and then of course the flowers withered and um, died. But I kept them in water continuously, and I just cut back the old dead parts or the flowers that were had withered at that point in time, and it sprouted these new buds, and it's turning into these new flowers now. So it looks like I'm going to get a second helping of these flowers, which is kind of nice, really. So one of the projects I have here lately is this right here. This is going to be for Rusty. It's his fly mask. And the problem with it is he has gone ahead and worn through the Velcro here. So it will no longer stay on if there's any movement where he rubs his face or if he rolls around on the ground out there. The mask just comes off and I have to go searching for it. So um, my thought has been getting a new fly mask, which I probably will end up doing. But I also love saving things. I don't really like to just throw anything away. I like giving things a second life if I can. And since the Velcro is rubbed off here, what I'm going to go ahead and do, here I'm going to turn the camera around here and give you a view of that. So as you can see, his mask is already kind of worn through here a little bit, but it's still got life in it. But it's down here that our problem resides. It's with this Velcro, and it's just completely rubbed off here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple strips of industrial Velcro with adhesive on the back. And I'm going to go ahead and try and get as much of this stuff off as I can, but I don't think it'll be an issue. But I'm just going to put some new strips of industrial Velcro here to then attach to this, because there's nothing wrong with
that side's fine. And then this over here is fine as well. Um, but it's that little tab, which is actually very important to keeping the mask on. So just some industrial strips of Velcro should fix that right up and give that a second life.
So here we have our little country store. As you can see, it's got the one pump here, and so I'm just stopping in here in the morning. It's kind of a nice little stop on the way, either going east or west, whichever I decide to do for the day. It doesn't have a ton, but it's got the basics, and so I'm just gonna stop in here. I already had some breakfast, but I'm just gonna grab something to drink and then be on my way. All right, so here I am on the coast, and since I'm on the coast, I'm going to go ahead and stop into the corral and feed store. They have consignment tack here, so they have secondhand tack that's used that they have upstairs, and I'm just going to look around and see if there's anything worth grabbing. This is where I'm headed here. Feed corral store right here off the main drag. Just right there. So we're gonna go inside and see what we can find. So they have some great used saddles here. Over on the coast, which, you know, don't always run into great used saddles. They're not always the easiest to find, but they have a pretty decent selection here, as you can see, of the Western style ones. And they've got like an English or two right here. But if I'm to get, I'm not really in need of a new saddle. If I was, I definitely would go with something like this, because I mean that's like only $100 saddle, and again it's English, so that's not the kind that I would be getting. I'd be getting one of these Westerns, but they've got a few Westerns here for like 150, $100, which is not bad at all. When I come to the coast, this is one of the places I like to go. It's Nostalgic Estate Sales, and it's just kind of a has everything place. They've got little booths where you can get items, and it's secondhand, and I found a lot of good stuff just in here. So it's always worth stopping in here to see what they have, and sometimes they have some equipment. Right now I'm looking for boots, so I'm gonna go in there and see if they have any boots that are in my size. So I was taking this back road here. It curves off here today and goes out in the country, and I was just driving out here minding my own business, and as I was coming down the road I saw these two guys over here. Let's see if I can get them in the frame here. But yeah, so as I was driving down this back road, I saw just off to the side here, like right here on the side and then right here, these guys. So I've kind of pushed them back, which seems like maybe they belong on this property here. But I pushed them back because I didn't want them so close to the road. They were like right alongside the road. They don't look to be wild. You've got a Mini over here. They let me get relatively close to them too,
they didn't want me to touch them per se, but they were interested enough that they sniffed my hand, or at least the big one did. But yeah, these guys are just here, so I don't know if they got out of a pen or if this is just kind of normal. This back road here really isn't all that busy. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen anybody come along here for a while now. I'm the only car out here. So I think you only take this route if you like live out here. So I think it's relatively safe, you know, and like I said, they're on a straight stretch. They're not around a corner or curve or anything. So I think they're relatively safe where they're at right now, but it's just something you don't expect to happen every day, is to see these two guys out here. Here I am home, and as it is, being the fall season, when I was in town today, my car's a little messier here today. I gotta clean that up. I got my pumpkins. So let's get them out. Go to the house right here. As you can see, those flowers are again starting to come out of their shell even more. But here we've got pumpkin number 1 and pumpkin number 2. And so I kind of shopped around to see where I could find the best pumpkins for the best price, and I went to Winco, and they were about 30 cents a pound, which I feel like is a fair price. I got 2 small ones because I feel like you oftentimes get the big ones and there's just never that need for all that pumpkin. So I usually try to get the small ones like these guys here, and that way I'll be able to use all of the pumpkin and not have it go to waste, because I hate having things go to waste. Okay, so while I was in town and did my town run, I picked up some of this. It's just Velcro, and it's for that fly mask of Rusty's. I'm going to go ahead and try and repair that here. This I just got the cheapest Velcro I could, but it looks like it'll work. I think it will, but it has to have the adhesive, so then I can stick it here and make this work again. So I'm just going to kind of take this here, scrape off a little bit of what's on there, and put the new Velcro on there, and hopefully that will work for us. Okay, so here's that fly mask. Now that I've put the strips of Velcro on it, the abrasive part, and now it should function just as it did before, because this was all rubbed off, but now I've got the piece on there that I need to adhere to the other. So let's just test it, make sure it works. Hear the cawing of a bird maybe in the background there. Got lots of birds up here. Yeah, that looks like it's gonna work. And just like that. So that's my encouragement to any of you, just as in the case with this fly mask and putting this Velcro on here, don't throw things out. We oftentimes are such a consumeristic people, as it were, that, you know, I mean, we've got Amazon, we've got all these instant things that you can pretty much get sent in the mail to you, but spend the time repairing old things. You know, that's the way it would have been in an older time, in an older day. You know, something broke for you, something, you know, ripped, you would have to fix it. You would have to sew it, you would have to repair it yourself, you'd have to, you know, get the parts. You had to have a little bit more know-how. Nowadays, something breaks, something rips, something doesn't work, we just throw it out and we get a new one. And that's the reason that there's a problem with so much, you know, stuff going into the landfill. And also it's good for you to think about how to problem solve. These are skills that you need. This keeps the old tinker, as it were, working. So think of ways to repair the things that you have using simple things like this. It's just a couple strips of Velcro. You know, I've still got some left, and now we're going to get some more extended life out of this this fly mask here.